Hello, everybody. My name is Chris. You're watching Park Pass, and I'm going to talk to you about what just got happened. Just got approved. The brand new union agreement with Disneyland has been approved. The cast members have voted on it, and they approved it. It's completely approved. And now we're starting to receive some details about what is going on, what they got, what's going to happen. And I've been reading online. There's already a lot of speculation. I feel like some misinformation. So let's get into it. Let's just kind of clear the air and get into it. By the way, hit the like and the subscribe button because I have a lot of cool videos coming out here about Disneyland, cool things, secrets about Disneyland you do not know, so you don't want to miss that stuff. So hit the like and subscribe. I'm also wearing a purple shirt today because this is news. This is a news video. Let's start. All right. On Monday, July 29th, the cast members voted and they accepted the brand new proposed bill between the union and Disneyland. And so it's accepted. It's going to be going into effect. It's actually in effect now. It's retroactive. It's gone into effect. So it is happening. Now, a lot of times some people are asking, well, why is this happening now? What's going on? So when a union makes a deal with like Disney, the corporation, they have like a deal, like it's in place for like 5 years or 7 years. And when it's in place for that long, the union is they're tied. They can't do anything. Well, the union's contract with Disneyland had expired, and they were trying to re-up their new contract with Disneyland, and Disneyland was pushing back and going back and forth. They did come into agreement, and this new deal that the customers have agreed to is a 3-year deal, which I think is very impressive because I know that Disney tends to try to go for a 5-year deal. That's what they really like, but this is going to be a 3-year deal. So in 3 years, the cast members at that point, they can try to change their contract agreement with Disney if they choose to. There is a lot of wins here for the cast members, and there's also, I think, some little things there that I'm a little bit concerned about. We'll just try to figure it out as we go through it. So let's break it down. Okay, first, let's talk about their wages. Their wages are going to increase. So they're making about $19.90 per hour. They're going to be the pay increase is going to go up to $24 an hour. So they're getting a $4.10 pay increase going on. And then next year they'll get a $1 increase. And then the following year they'll get another $1 increase. So by the time that it's all done, they'll be making $26 per hour. And that's at the end of the 3 years. So they don't get the whole $6.10 pay increase right now. They're going to get $4.10 for this first year. Then the next year they're going to get a $1 pay increase for the following year. And then the year after that, they'll get another $1 pay increase. They also negotiated their attendance policies and a sick leave. So apparently it's supposed to be a lot better. It's easier for people who have emergencies or don't have penalties if they can't make it into work. So I don't know the specifics of that yet. I haven't seen that, but apparently that the attendance policy is going to be easier and better for cast members if they have some type of emergency and can't make it into work. Also, they've done what's called a longevity clause. For people, cast members who've been working there for 10 years or longer, they're going to receive an additional 50 cents per hour. And if they've been working there for 20 years or longer, they're going to receive an additional $1 per hour for longevity. And I think that's kind of an interesting thing. I think that's a nice thing that Disney's doing in the normal corporate world. Though I'm just letting you know, in the normal corporate world, like a large corporations like that, in the business world, usually longevity is not rewarded. They don't usually generally reward people who've been there the longest time because you don't just reward somebody usually for being there for a long time. Corporations don't usually reward for longevity. They reward for performance. It's performance versus longevity. Corporations usually look at performance, not longevity. So most corporations don't do a longevity reward, but Disney is going to do that. So I think that's very nice for the cast members saying, hey, you've been here for 10 years, you're going to get a pay increase. You've been here for 20 years, you're going to get a pay increase, and we appreciate you, which I think is a really good thing that they could do because most corporations don't do that. Now, you have to understand in business, both sides are going to spin it that they won. That's just what's going to happen. So Disney's going to spin it saying that they won. The union's going to spin it saying that they won. That's just what happens in business. So here's a direct quote that we got here from the unions. It says, "This victory is a direct result of showcasing our power at the bargaining table and in the parks. Every meeting we attended, we rallied, we participated, the petition we signed, and button we were forced Disney to recognize our power and enable us to reach this historic agreement. The solidarity and record participation we achieved in this fight means we are that much stronger for our next contract campaign, and that campaign starts now. Look at what we have accomplished this year, and imagine what we can do when we have 3 years to get even stronger before we come back to the bargaining table and sit across from Disney. We are absolutely stronger together, so continue to stay engaged with your stewards, fellow cast members, and your union." So the unions there, they're saying, hey, we're stronger than we've ever been. We're unionized, we're stronger. And you also kind of notice, if you kind of peel back the layers, they're saying, hey, you want to keep engaged with the unions, keep working with us, because in 3 years, we're going to do another whole collective bargaining in 3 years. And that's really what the union is going to be doing for the next 3 years, is trying to remind people, hey, you need us, and keep using us so that you can use this in 3 years. That's just standard business practices. Now, Disney, they did respond. They also responded, of course they did. And this is what their direct quote was. We are pleased that our cast members approved the new agreements, which, along with all we offer as part of our employment experience, demonstrate how much we value them and our profound commitment to their overall well-being. So Disney's like, hey, we're so glad that they approved the agreements, and we love that and think it's great, and we're concerned about their well-being. Now, it's important to understand, guys, this is really important, is that companies are for profit. The companies have to make money, and if they don't make money, they're going to go out of business. So in a lot of times, sometimes we kind of keep like a hush, like, oh my gosh, we're making money here. They're not. Companies are trying to make money, and Disney is, of course, trying to make money. And that's just standard, typical business practices. So you could see that the union is trying to say, hey, that we're super strong, we're happy. And Disneyland, the Disney people are saying, don't worry, we're happy. Well, Disney's kind of posturing because they want the shareholders to feel good about it. And then the union's trying to posturing to let the union members that, hey, you need us. So it's kind of a little bit of back and forth. But that is what's going on. Now, there are some things I've been seeing. People are like, there are some just angry people out there. And I want to talk about this real quickly, because I think this is happening in social media. Social media, it's got to the point where we don't have tolerance anymore. If somebody has an opinion that's different than your own, we've been programmed, I think, through social media to be angry. And if you think that I'm wrong on that, just wait. When somebody disagrees with what you say, what is your first reaction? If it's anger and you're being upset, maybe we're being manipulated. So there are lots of different opinions here. Some people are angry about this. Let's all just take a deep breath. That's okay. And the reason some people might be angry is because they say, well, this is exactly what's going to happen. Disney's now going to increase all the tickets. It's going to make it so it's so much more. It's going to cost us so much more to go to the parks and the theme parks. So people are saying that Disney is going to increase their ticket prices because of this, of the union. Let's take a time out here and talk about this real quickly. So this is a very complex subject. Okay. Disney is probably going to raise their prices. That's going to happen, but it's a mathematical thing. It's what they're doing. So let's talk about this. I want you to use an example right now of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, great company. But if they had a can of Coke, and that can of Coke was sitting there, and they were trying to sell it for $100, would people keep buying it? No, they know exactly. They'll charge whatever they believe the market is going to pay for that. They're going to charge the most amount they can for the can of Coke. It's like what the government does to us with taxes. You know what the government is? They're playing this constant shell game where they keep making us think that they're raising and lowering taxes, but they're really just taking the most amount of money from us, and it doesn't matter what we're doing. It's just this whole... Okay, sorry, I got a little sidetracked there on the government tax thing. It's fascinating, what the government does with our taxes. I have another YouTube channel that I don't really use very often, but I'm going to put a video that I think what I just decided is I'm going to go on that channel, and I'm going to talk to you about how the government is taking our money, and they're always taking the most amount of money from us, but they're making us think that they're not. If you want to watch that video, I'll link it around here somewhere. If you want, it's just for fun, but you can talk about how the government is always fooling us out of our money. You can watch that video. Okay, back to the topic at hand. The marketplace is going to charge whatever they think they can charge and get away with the most. Coca-Cola is going to charge the exact most amount of money they can for that can of Coke that the most amount of people will buy it. So if they charge $100, only a few people will buy that can of Coke, and they're not going to make as much profit. But if they want to charge the most they can and for the most amount of people who will buy it. That's exactly what Disney's going to do. Disney's mathematically going to know exactly how much they can charge before they start pricing to get the most amount of people to buy their tickets. So they probably will increase their prices, their ticket prices, but it has nothing to do with the union. They probably would have done it anyways. But Disney might come back and say, well, it's because of the strike and all that we had to increase our prices, but it's not. They're trying to. It's the marketplace. It dictates how much dollars are out there and what people are willing to pay for tickets, and Disney's going to do the maximum amount of that. That's just what they're going to do. It's just a for-profit company. That's just the way that it works. So that's that. So yeah, I don't want you to get too confused, and I don't want people to be blaming the unions for that. because that's not correct. That's not correct thinking. Just know that Disney always increases their prices, always does. But that's what I do. I buy your tickets in advance, and that way, if they do increase your prices, you don't have to pay the extra cost. So if you guys want to get tickets, you click the link down below and get those, lock in your prices on your tickets. That's the nicest thing about that. If you purchase your tickets, if you're planning on going on a trip, buy your tickets now, so they do increase prices. You don't have to pay that additional cost. I mean, seriously, it's the best thing to do. So let's recap real quickly. The cast members, they got a 3-year contract agreement. They're getting a pay increase. They'll be going from $19.90 up to $26 at the end of 3 years. But it's a good pay increase for them, and I'm happy for them about that. They're going to get longevity bonuses, and their attendance policy is supposed to be more favorable towards them. But it's not all roses for them. So a couple of things I did hear about is that the more difficult shifts, there's like the third shift. Third shift are people who work in the middle of the night. They use working at a harder shift or being like a team lead or like a trainer, that you would get like a premium, right? For doing that, say, because we know this is a little bit more difficult. You're doing a little more work. You should be getting a premium. And so the union didn't increase any of those premiums. So some people feel like, oh, there wasn't really an incentive for people to take those harder jobs because the premiums didn't change or exactly the same. So there's that. The other thing that I heard, and I haven't seen this, so this is a little bit, you'll have to help me if you're a cast member because I haven't seen that exact contract. But I heard that Disney put some verbiage in there saying that they're making, if you work 30 hours, you're considered a full-time employee in the contract there. And the reason that's interesting to me is then at that point, Disney could say when you work 30 hours, like, oh, we don't need you to come in anymore because you've worked your full-time hours. So I'm curious to see if Disney does that or if this is just something that I'm just thinking outside the box, but something to be aware of that it could have been put in place there by Disney to maybe limit hours. I'm not exactly sure because I haven't seen it. I just heard 2 different cast members tell me that there was some verbiage in there about how Disney is now going to recognize a full-time employee. So if anybody has that information, I would definitely love to see it. You guys, Disneyland is fun for all of us. And the reason it's so fun is the cast members. And cast members, we love you. I hope this is really good. This is this collective bargaining agreement is excellent and beneficial for you. I will say this is the thing that I'm most worried about is California. The state of California is very expensive. And I hope that landlords and groceries, and they don't see this as an opportunity to increase their prices to match what your guys' price increases. It's because the cost of living in California is so expensive. So I feel like they get an increase, then everything else increases. So we're really staying in the exact same spot that we were in before. So I hope things go well for the cast members. I support you guys. I think you're amazing, and you make all the magic happen. I think you guys are absolutely awesome. So, all right, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Go to the other channel if you want to learn about government taxes and all that, if you want to. And I have a whole bunch of new Disney stuff coming out. I got some good treats. I got some secrets revealed. I got some cool things coming out. So go ahead and make sure you are subscribed to our channel. By the way, the subscription thing you do is free, and it goes a long way to support us. It makes me feel really good when I see that people are subscribing to my channel. It makes me feel like you guys like what I'm doing. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.